So, in today's video, I want to talk about something that's been on my mind for probably like the last 20 years. Back when Watchmen came out in 2008, we got introduced to Dr. Manhattan, who essentially was just a being of pure energy, and he seemed like invincible. And my friends and I always had a standing joke, like, who could beat Dr. Manhattan? Like, there's got to be somebody. But, it was always just like a no contest thing. Like, one of us would always pick Dr. Manhattan, and the other one would pick whoever else, and no matter what, we'd always be like, oh, Dr. Manhattan would win. Nope.
We are Sex Boom! 1, 2, 3, 4! Let me make you stasis. Mama, so good. I got a breathalyzer, and my body's clean.
Dr. Manhattan is essentially this guy, John Osterman, who back in the day was like a nuclear physicist that worked at this research facility for the military, I guess. And they were trying to develop what would eventually become the atomic bomb. So there was this testing chamber that they were testing the radiation in. And then one day when he was working in there, he left his watch behind. And then he like freaked out and panicked and ran in after it and locked himself in right when the radiation was going off. So essentially it like vaporized him and turned him into like molecules, or they said it was like an intrinsic field separator, and I remember thinking like, what the hell does that mean? Intrinsic field? But essentially an intrinsic field is like this invisible force field that holds your body together. And once your intrinsic field is separated, that just means that there's nothing to hold your body together and it just like kind of disintegrates. So essentially he got turned into a disembodied consciousness, which allegedly was smart enough to rebuild himself over time. So like throughout the comics you'd see like him gradually like rebuilding himself. Like he was a circulatory system, and then there's like a skeleton, and then eventually he was just like this ripped fucking naked dude that was like glowing energy. And he went to the war and like pretty much won World War II or Vietnam or wherever the fuck it was. I think it was Vietnam, and they just immediately like submitted because he was just some giant naked dude flopping his wiener all over the place. So yeah, and many people throughout time have tried to like thwart him, and he just turns them into like blobs of like goo, pretty much. He like disintegrates people. So even Ozymandias tried to like kill him by doing the whole process over again and separating his intrinsic field or whatever, and he just rebuilt himself. So apparently he's fucking invincible. Which brings me to this video. There has to be somebody in Marvel or DC or Dragon Ball Z or somewhere that can beat this motherfucker, right? Wrong. Let's go through the list. First up, we have Phoenix from the X-Men. Yes, Jean Grey was already powerful as a mutant, but once she had the Phoenix Force, she became that much more. So her powers are telepathy, energy absorption, immortality pretty much, and she also does pyrokinesis. So essentially she can like project energy and like fucking vaporize people. Kind of like Dr. Manhattan, I guess. But apparently she's also immortal. So if the two of them fought, who would win? I mean, it's just a contest of who can vaporize the other one fast enough, but the only thing is I'm pretty sure Phoenix can't rebuild herself, so if he like vaporized Jean Grey, then that's it, no contest. Captain Marvel. Brie Larson has openly stated that she's the most powerful superhero in the MCU, which is bullshit because Scarlet Witch. And I hope they do address that at some point. Anyway, so she got her powers from the Tesseract after shooting it with a fucking handgun. And her powers are super strength, flight, super agility, and she can also survive in space. And I guess she has like decreased aging, so like she just stays younger longer. I don't know. But in a battle of Dr. Manhattan, he can do the same thing and just, fucking disintegrate her. I mean, yeah, she has like the cosmic powers or whatever, but I don't think, it would match up to him. He would also just disintegrate her body. Okay, here's a good one. Thanos. Yes, with the Infinity Gauntlet. So, Dr. Manhattan could do the same thing to him, but he could just use the Time Stone to reverse it, and it could just be an endless loop forever. Dr. Manhattan could just keep disintegrating him, and he could just regenerate over and over again. Or he can use the Reality Stone to fuck with Dr. Manhattan's mind and make him think he disintegrated him, and then he could just snap Dr. Manhattan out of existence. Haha! We may have found a contestant here. So, with the Infinity Gauntlet, he could snap him out of existence. But before he gets to do that, Dr. Manhattan would just turn the glove into like fucking butterflies or something. So, that's not happening. Alright, how about Electro? Max Dillon was turned into a being of living energy similar to Dr. Manhattan. So, essentially, they're both just disembodied consciousness with fucking energy, I guess. I don't know. And he can teleport and create electricity and yada yada. That one's kind of tough to say because Electro also rebuilt himself and he can like disassemble and reassemble himself. So that's almost like a tie, really, but I'm still going with Dr. Manhattan on this because he could find a way to beat him somehow. I don't know. He could just separate his atoms and then just make him cease to exist. Or he could turn the electricity in his body into like, I don't know, poop? Something. Okay. Scarlet Witch. Yep. As we've seen in WandaVision, she has crazy potential. She has matter manipulation, reality warping abilities. She could pretty much turn something into whatever the hell she wants it to be. So she could essentially turn Dr. Manhattan into whatever she wants. But I don't know if she's a match for him doing like the whole disintegration thing. That's kind of like the distinguishing factor here. So he's just going to disintegrate the fuck out of everybody. But I have a feeling she has a way to like block that or manipulate it somehow to where it wouldn't affect her. I mean, she can also control multiple realities. So he could essentially disintegrate her in one reality and then that not be like the true reality and then she's actually alive. So that one's actually debatable. I don't know where to go with that one. That's almost up there with the Thanos one. Maybe they have a fighting chance against him? If anybody, I think Scarlet Witch would fare the most in a fight. But does she win in the end? Nah, he disintegrates her. Alright, how about Thor? As strong as Thor is, he's a demigod, he can control lightning and has like super strength, the strength of the gods, all this stuff. He's still just a dude with powers. So yeah, Dr. Manhattan is a being of energy and can literally just disintegrate his body. Okay, moving away from Marvel for a second, how about Goku? Goku is like one of the strongest Saiyans, and he has all these different forms. Super Saiyan Blue, I guess is what they call it, or Super Saiyan Rose, something like that. He's just super strong. And, Saiyans are way more powerful than human beings. Granted, Manhattan's not a human being anymore. So, the fight would be intense, and they'd probably have a lot of collateral damage, but at the end, yep, his ass is getting disintegrated. What about Broly, then? Because Broly's, like, the legendary Super Saiyan, and he fought Goku at Goku's strongest, and he hadn't even, like, powered up at all. So, Broly at full power against Dr. Manhattan. Still nothing. Scorpion. Okay. Scorpion's a wraith, and he has the ability of Hellfire, and he can teleport and regenerate and all this stuff. So, essentially, he's like undead. If Dr. Manhattan disintegrates him, he'll just regenerate and keep coming back over and over again. So that's something. He can't kill Scorpion, so it's a stalemate. But can Scorpion kill him? No. Kind of a tie, really. Scorpion might have actually just won, because he can't die either. Alright, what about Spawn? Spawn's also undead, and he's like, the leader of like Hell's Army or some shit like that. But if you kill Spawn, same thing, he'll just come back. So he just has like super regeneration as well, and he'll just keep coming back. So that one's also a tie. I don't think he can kill Spawn. He can keep disintegrating him and separating his atoms, but he'll just come back. Alright, Wolverine. Yes, he has the adamantium and the healing factor, but again, he's just living tissue, so he can easily just be like dismembered. Superman, same thing. As strong as everybody thinks Superman is, you don't even need kryptonite for this one. He can easily just like fucking disintegrate him. God, everything's about getting disintegrated, I swear. Okay, what about the Vision? The Vision's pretty damn strong. He can control his own density, which means he can make his body intangible if he wants to, or make it super dense. He can regenerate himself. Well, you know, not after Infinity War. Oh, sad face. He has solar energy projection, as well as the Mind Stone. He can use that to his full advantage. He's super sentient. He has knowledge of all things because he's a synthezoid, and he has access to like the internet and all that bullshit. And also he can create holograms of himself. So if Dr. Manhattan goes to disintegrate him, it could just be a hologram, and then the Vision could, I don't know. It would be a good fight, but all he has to do is turn the vibranium in his body into like, I don't know, something else. Spaghetti? Okay, Wesker. Yes, Wesker is one of the most powerful villains of Resident Evil, being that the T-Virus bonded with his body and gave him super speed and agility and strength, as well as healing factor. He got blown up by a fucking bomb and just started regenerating. But we know, in the end of the last movie, he got killed by a door that fell on his ankle, so he's a little bitch, and he would not survive. Okay, Galactus. He has the power cosmic. He's one of the tallest motherfuckers in like the universe. Why he's not playing for the NBA, we don't know. He's got telekinesis. He can teleport matter across time and space, as well as doing transmutation of matter. So he can just like do the Scarlet Witch thing and turn whatever he wants into whatever he wants. So he could turn Dr. Manhattan into like a bunny rabbit, I guess. But I don't know. As much as that power cosmic thing is like, you know, powerful in the MCU, he could easily just like break him down on a molecular level, and then that's it. He'd just be like fucking Dormammu. Okay, so Dormammu is another one of those huge MCU villains. He's an interdimensional being with energy projection, teleportation, as well as time travel, and he can also absorb life force energy. So he can absorb the life force out of Dr. Manhattan, but he doesn't have any because he's just living energy. Well, technically he is energy, so he could absorb the energy, but I don't know how that would work, really. That'd be interesting. Dormammu doesn't really have a form. I mean, he can manifest one, but he's more just like this floating, like, fucking head thing. I don't know. So, yeah, that'd be interesting to see. Unless Dr. Manhattan just, like, ceases him to exist somehow and, like, just destroys, like, his essence. I don't know. Alright, Adam Warlock. Healing factor, telepathy, energy manipulation, and he's gold as fuck. Adam Warlock is one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe. Although they haven't introduced him yet in the films, he's part of this race called the Sovereign, and you see him in Guardians 2 locked up in like this cocoon. So Adam Warlock pretty much is unkillable according to Marvel, but also I'm thinking he could just easily be, you know, disintegrated. Okay. And lastly, I have the Anti-Monitor. So the Anti-Monitor is from the Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline of DC. He has energy absorption, cosmic powers, immortality, and mind control. So essentially he controls like time and space or some bullshit, and he can just do whatever he wants. But again, he's just a dude, so disintegrated. Alright, I think we've heard enough here. I mean, let's look back at the main contenders here. So Scarlet Witch, obviously, was a good contender. Scorpion, of course. I guess Spawn, in a way, but I'm leaning more towards Scorpion than Spawn. Dormammu, you know, he's one of the most powerful beings, so between the three of them, Oh, jeez. I don't know. I'd have to say Scorpion, maybe? Or how about Dormammu? I don't know. What do you guys think? Who do you think would fare the best against Dr. Manhattan? Who could defeat Dr. Manhattan, for that matter? Alright, well, that's been the video, so I'll leave it up to you guys. Who do you think is the strongest to beat Dr. Manhattan in a fight? See ya.